Welcome to Never Too Late for Fitness Radio, bringing baby boomers proven strategies and innovative products for getting fit, staying fit, so you can live a longer, healthier, and happier life. Here's your host, best-selling author and fitness advocate, Phil Ferris.
This is Phil Ferris, and welcome to our show. Never Too Late for Fitness Radio provides answers and straight talk about fitness, nutrition, and healthy lifestyle for people over 50. During each show, we talk to real health and fitness experts solving real problems with proven solutions people can apply in their everyday lives. Today's show focuses on adding muscle and gaining strength for people over 50, and why it's essential not just for athletic performance and appearance, but for functional living as well. Most people know that we lose muscle mass as we age, and strength training is the only way to rebuild muscle mass that we've lost. This makes strength training an excellent exercise regimen for people as they age. Strength training can actually help combat the pain of both arthritis and osteoporosis. In 1994, Tufts University Diet and Nutrition Letter published a study on sensible strength training that reduced the pain of osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis. According to Tufts University's Strength Training Program website, the results of the 16-week program showed that strength training decreased pain by 43%, increased muscle strength and general physical performance, improved the clinical signs and symptoms of the disease, and decreased disability. The effectiveness of strength training to ease pain of osteoarthritis was just as potent, if not more potent, as medications. Similar effects of strength training have been seen in patients with rheumatoid arthritis. Our guest today has built his career around helping people build muscle, increase strength, and get fit. Dwayne Wimmer founded Vertex Fitness Personal Training Studio in 2001. He was excited to bring a new concept about personal training to the people of Philadelphia's main line in Pennsylvania. His background is both varied and impressive. While a strength coach at Villanova University, he worked closely with world-class athletes such as Brian Westbrook, formerly the Philadelphia Eagles, on strength training and conditioning for optimal performance. Dwayne's clients include everyone from world-class athletes to adolescents and seniors. He's a highly acclaimed and sought-out personal trainer who has received numerous awards such as Best of the Mainline Personal Training Studio and Best Mainline Personal Trainer. Through efforts and a driving passion to bring the professional to the fitness industry, Dwayne co-founded the Fitness Leader Alliance in 2013, which is an organization dedicated to the training of more highly qualified personal trainers. Its focus is on ethical business practices, scientifically proven methods, and the realization that continuous learning is important in the fitness industry. A graduate of Missouri Western State University, Dwayne has a Bachelor of Science degree in physical education with an emphasis in coaching. Aside from personal training, he spent time as a physical education teacher, strength and conditioning coach, and football coach, but has found his passion and home in the fitness industry, inspiring and reaching out to others. Since June of 2013, Dwayne has co-hosted the podcast, The Fitness Professional Show. This provides a wonderful platform to help with his goal of creating a more professional fitness industry. And now he can add author to his list of accomplishments, having created a chapter in the book Soul of Success with Jack Canfield, renowned for the Chicken Soup series. Thank you for being here today, Dwayne.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's pretty apparent that fitness is not just a passion for you. It's been an important part of your entire life. Perhaps you could tell the listeners where your drive and passion for fitness started and how it's influenced your life.
Well, I guess it started when I was young and I played sports. I was that athlete. I was average size, average speed, average everything, and to do what I needed to do, I had to just work a little harder at everything. And I realized real early that if you could get in better shape, get stronger, and work a little harder, you could compete with people who were born with better tools than you had. So basically, I started working out when I was in high school back in the late 70s, early 80s. And, it was back when it was just getting started. Bodybuilding was the big thing. And a lot of athletes weren't yet working out like they are today. And I had a great coach in high school, and he opened the door for me, and the rest is history. I went on to college and played sports, and now I'm in the fitness industry myself.
Now you say that you competed at a pretty high level. So where did you go to college, and what sports did you play?
I went to Missouri Western State University, and I played at that. Now they're Division II football. Small kid from Eastern Pennsylvania, went out to the Midwest, walked on, played football. I was we had a program there that you could actually earn scholarships. So I walked on and ended up starting for 3 years. I walked on as a wide receiver and ended up starting 3 years at offensive center. So I was all over the place. And then I actually, on the off seasons, I was actually a college cheerleader.
Okay, so I guess you were the base when it comes to not the flyer.
Yeah, I wasn't the flyer, no.
You weren't. Yeah, my daughters did that, so but they were both base. Now, at your Vertex Fitness personal training studio, you and your trainers work with all types of people. But for this episode, we want to focus on adults 50 plus who want to build muscle and gain strength. Many of your members fit that description. Why is it so important for this group to add muscle and increase strength?
Well, first and foremost, it's quality of life. Most of our seniors who come in over 50 have never done anything like this before. And our studio is very private. Everybody comes in is working with a trainer one-on-one. So there is no go do it yourself and worry if you're going to get hurt or doing it right, or am I getting anything out of this. We're with them every step of the way, every time they're here. So they're very, very comfortable in the fact that they're going to be safe while they're doing this. And then they're going to get results, because we're not going to just have them do a lot of work. It's productive, focused work, working the whole body. So the reason they come in the first place is because, they've heard through news outlets or from their friends that they need to start working out. They need to get stronger as they age so that they can have a better quality of life. And when they come in, they find a very private, welcoming setting that is very, very focused on them while they're here.
Okay. Now, you said that one of the main issues is kind of the quality of life. How does lack of muscle affect someone's quality of life as they get older?
Well, I had a client one time come to me after they had been here for a while, and they just said they could walk up the hill next to their house without stopping anymore. Or when you have someone tell me that they can carry a case of water in from the car without stopping. I mean, everyday life includes your muscles. They have to work to do your everyday chores. And if you're stronger all over, you can do everything easier. I even had one person who was a grandmother said she loves the fact that now she can sit down on the floor and play with her grandkids and get up without needing help. That just increases their quality of life, meaning they enjoy the things that they're doing. I mean, she could still get on the floor with her grandkids, but needing help to get off the floor made it less comfortable, less enticing for her to do so. So everyday life activities become easier as you get stronger.
Okay. So I think it's clear that strength training is beneficial for people as they age, but it's not easy. Otherwise, everyone over 50 would be trim, fit, and strong and be on the cover of the various vanity magazines. So what are some of the most common challenges that the people that come into you have with gaining muscle and increasing their strength?
Well, first, I think it comes down to they have no idea what it takes. They might think that if they just move some stuff around, they're going to get stronger. But honestly, it has to be an overload. Their body has to have a reason to adapt. Now, we customize the intensity to everybody who comes in here. Some people are able to push themselves physically harder than others. Most of the time, the biggest hurdle is the person's own mind, and what does it take to create that stimulus. So we slowly work people into creating an overload that will stimulate the body to adapt. And I think, unfortunately, in our industry, a lot of people don't take the time or don't have the patience to work with people, especially seniors who have maybe never done anything like this before. And you have to ease them into it because it's an unknown. It's uncharted waters for most people, even people younger, but especially people in their 50 or over, that they've never done anything like this before. So we have to guide them and make sure they understand what we're doing every step of the way, and that they understand that it needs to be a little challenging. And if it's not challenging, their body has no reason to change, and that's why they're here in the first place.
Can you explain a little bit about what you mean by overload and adapt, especially for people if they've never done it? And I walked up and said, guess what? We're going to go to a fitness center, and they're going to teach you about overload and adapting. What does that mean in terms of building muscle?
The analogy I often use is, think about calluses on your hands. If you take a feather and just run it across the palm of your hand over and over and over again, your skin has no reason to get stronger because there is no stimulus, there is no overload, there is no stress to the skin. But you take something rough like a file and slowly rub it across the palm of your hand. Now your skin gets tougher and you get calluses. So think of your muscles sort of the same way. If you move them against the resistance, that is really what you're capable of doing, your body has no reason to get stronger. But if you push your body a little bit harder and use something a little bit outside of your ability, now your body has a reason to adapt. It will get stronger. And in doing so, you can translate that strength into everyday life. So the overload comes with taking your body to a point where it's not used to going or has never gone. So it has to adapt to that and get stronger.
Okay. Now you're a big advocate for fitness education because there's a lot of misinformation out there. So what are some of the biggest misconceptions your clients may have about gaining muscle and strength training?
Well, first, and especially for women, you're not going to get big and bulky doing this. That's a genetic factor seldom found in most humans. So you can work as hard as you possibly can, and you'll never see yourself get as big as a bodybuilder. So that misconception is something that's haunted our industry for decades because a lot of what we were founded in was bodybuilding. But unfortunately, most bodybuilders take performance-enhancing drugs and are getting to places where the average person can't. So what we're looking at is get your body as strong as possible, and you can be functional in everyday life. And in doing so, you're not going to get big and bulky.
Okay. Are there other misconceptions that they have besides being bulky?
Losing flexibility is another big misconception. We work full range of motion. So if you work from the beginning of the ability of the muscle to the end of the ability of the muscle, you will continue to have functional range of motion. And that in having that functional range of motion, you will continue to have flexibility to do everyday life activities. Now, you're not going to be able to do the splits like a ballerina or a gymnast, but that's beyond functional flexibility. So we're looking to make sure that people stay within that functional level. Other misconceptions are that that they'll get hurt. Our biggest focus is to keep people safe. First, do no harm. Just like the Hippocratic Oath that the doctors take, we're here to help people get stronger. And if they're getting hurt exercising, they can't get healthier. So exercise should never hurt you.
Yeah, I recently read a AARP article that said, whereas the baby boomer generation started to realize, hey, we got to get fit, and they re-entered the arena of more rigorous activities, that they were showing up in the doctor's office and the physical therapist a lot more. So it was like they went from one extreme of doing nothing to overdoing it and then getting injury. So what are some of the specific things that you do to minimize the fact that they might get injured or hurt?
Well, first of all, nothing we do should hurt them in and of itself. So if they're coming to the table with some injuries, we need to know that. So we sit down and we go over an extensive health history of each client before we even get started, to make sure that if they do have some orthopedic issues or any issues that we may need to know of beforehand, we make sure we know how to work around that, or if need be, we make sure they talk with their doctor, because again, we don't want them to exacerbate a problem that is already that they already have coming in the door. Moving forward, everything we do is under control. Every movement is slow and controlled through a full range of motion, so that the forces on the body are minimized, the repetitions are minimized. We're looking to work each muscle group or exercise to a point where we hit what we call maximum effort, somewhere between 50 and 70 seconds. That gives the body enough time to warm up that muscle at the beginning of the set and enough time to overload it at the end of the set within a safe range. And most research is being done is showing that's the optimal level for most people, as far as the optimal range of time for most people to get their best results. So we want to keep them moving slow and controlled through each rep, each set. And like I said, keeping the forces and repetitions low. There's only two things that'll hurt you: excess force and excess repetitions, and we're trying to keep them both to a minimum.
Okay. Now, another component of injury, it has to do with overtraining, and that a lot of times people go all gung-ho and try and work out 6-7 days a week. Is that something that you'd advocate for your clients?
Well, again, with our initial health history form, we definitely ask them, what else are they doing in their lives? What other activities, what other exercise? And we want them to take a minimum of 2 days a week off, to where they're specific exercise. Now, they can go for a walk, a stroll, or whatever, but we're not looking for them to do any real specific exercise for a minimum of 2 days a week. As far as strength training goes, we would never have them do more than 3 days a week, because you need to have a day off in between, at least, to allow your body to adapt to the overload. And if they're doing lots of other activities, cycling, running, if they're involved in other types of strength sports. I mean, we have people doing, going to the gym on their own. We take that all into consideration. So we want to make sure that we get the overload that's needed to create the stimulus, but then also have enough time for the body to adapt to that. If you're doing something every day, you're either doing one, you're not doing it hard enough to really stimulate the body to change, or two, you're just not letting your body have enough rest, which is then going to create a negative impact with your stimulus. So you're actually becoming counterproductive. So what we're trying to do is make sure we get the overload, but then also have enough time to recover. So based on how hard you work is how much rest you need in between. So most of our clients work out with us twice a week. We do have some that work out 3 times a week and some that work out once a week based on other activities. So
I guess the key here is that to work with enough intensity that you force the muscles to adapt, and then allowing enough time for the body to recover so that the body starts to heal itself and rebuild, in its new format. And then that's really done under a controlled environment so that you don't overtrain and you don't overlift using too much. I mean, one of the issues I had after a layoff was trying to go back and lift the same weights I lifted when I was in college, and I had to realize that my body was different, and I had to put my ego, leave the ego at the door and go in and say, all right, I got to start from scratch, and that was a little hard for me. So I was wondering, are there other challenges that your 50-plus clients present your trainers in trying to help them reach their goals?
Well, I think to your point, you aren't 18 or 20 years old anymore, and we have to start from where you are now, not where you think you are, or where you once were. We even have that same thing. We have clients who may go away for the winter and come back. We make sure that we start them at a place where we're not taking them too close to where they were before, to where they're actually, going to be too sore where they just don't want to do it anymore. We're going to ease you into it. We don't want you to get hurt. We don't want to discourage you. It's a process. You're never, you're always trying to get there, but there is somewhere else and you'll never reach there. So, if you realize that wherever you are now is where you are, and you're going to slowly adapt by overloading your body, you will continually get stronger and stronger. Now, through the process, the increments get smaller and smaller, but you'll continually get stronger as long as you keep working hard.
Okay. Now, Dwayne, in your club, you work one-on-one with all your clients, and you have a number of trainers that work with them. Can you talk a little bit about how you maintain the quality control of the training, from the trainer's perspective and also from the members' experience in terms of when they walk in the club? How do you make sure that every client gets the same kind of results or same kind of treatment and approach to fitness?
Well, first of all, everybody who comes in as a potential trainer goes through a 6-week program that we've developed in-house to make sure that they understand our methodology, our approach to the client as far as customer service goes, and just how to keep them progressing. Once they're through that 6 weeks, it's a continual learning process. We have meetings every week to make sure that we're all on the same page as far as how we teach each exercise, how we adapt to each person's problems that they bring to the table, whether it be orthopedic or even psychological. I mean, some people come to the table one week where they're really, really, stressed. How do we deal with that? So we work with people, with all of our trainers every week to keep them learning and progressing to work with every client. So any client can work with any trainer at any time. So they don't have to adapt to any trainer's schedule. That we adapt to their schedule.
Okay. Now you brought up an important point that comes into play in that with anybody, but specifically people over 50 is I call the psychological aspect of who shows up at the gym. There's some days where your body just can't push it as much as the next. Either your body hasn't recovered enough, you haven't had enough sleep, your nutrition may not be there. How do you have your trainers tune in to where the client is that day so that the maximum or optimal for that day, which may not be the same as the workout they had a week ago?
Well, first of all, we try to teach every client from day one that all we're asking for is their maximum effort of that day. So whatever that is for that day, if they can walk away and say they gave it 100%, that's all we can ask for. Every day is different, like you said, from the mental capacity to the physical capacity. Did they sleep as well? Did they eat as well? Is it a different time of day? Did someone just pull out in front of them in the parking lot? All these things affect you. So all we're doing is taking from them as much as they can give. If that's what they give, that's going to stimulate the overload and their body will change. So we have to take whatever they can give and we give back to them whatever they need to get to that maximum effort for that day.
Okay. Is there a client or member that would be representative, that their success would be representative of what embodies your training would be? That if you could share a success story that's kind of tangible, that would help people understand where they came and then what they were able to accomplish and how the training changed their lives?
Well, I mean, one of my biggest success stories came to me almost 20 years ago before I even opened Vertex Fitness, and he's been training with me for, let's see, in September will be 19 years. He came to me 3 months after bypass surgery. He had a 5-way bypass, and he couldn't even open the door to the studio I was working at the time. He had to bring his 12-year-old son with him. Since then, he's not had any issues. He's as strong as he's ever been. He goes back for his stress tests, and he blows them off, blows them out of the water. So I'd say that's probably my biggest success story is, a guy who comes to me 3 months after a 5-way bypass, almost 20 years ago, is still training with me and living life to the fullest.
Okay, that's pretty impressive, because there's a lot of options out there for people to train with different people.
Right.
Now, I think most people, over 50, they have fitness needs and challenges. They would benefit from working with a personal trainer, especially if they haven't really done a lot of training or done training lately. But many would kind of hesitate because they really don't know what to look for in a trainer. What advice would you give to a person over 50 on how to select a trainer that could help them achieve their fitness goals?
Well, make sure that the trainer is able to adapt to your abilities. He listens to you personally. Not that he or she is always going to do what you want them to do, because that's not always the best thing either. But that over time you feel comfortable with their approach, and that you're continually seeing results. A lot of people, I think, get into a comfort zone and they just do the same thing over and over again, and they're not seeing any results. So the trainers have to be able to adapt to you personally, daily and over time. And then make sure that their methods are proven. We base everything we do in the science, not in the marketing. So not necessarily everything you hear on TV or read in magazines is appropriate. But the science doesn't lie. So if you don't have to spend a lot of time doing what we do. The science shows that a little bit of overload goes a long way. So adapt to make sure the trainer is adapting to you over time and that you're staying safe.
I know that one of the things that you talk about with your trainers is that you don't necessarily have them do weight loss programs and food programs, that you refer them out. Why don't you have your trainers do weight loss programs?
Well, I'm big on analogies. You don't go to an eye doctor if you hurt your foot, even though they both know your body. So the person that knows food better than me is a dietitian. They went to school for this. They got a degree in this. I can help people with general stuff, but if someone's really looking to lose weight, I need to send them to someone who's an expert in that. And I have a couple dietitians that I feel really comfortable with. They've been in the industry for a long time. They've seen a lot of great results. They don't jump on the latest bandwagon as far as weight loss goes. They're based in science, just like just like what we do as far as strength training and exercise. So actually they're both clients of mine. So they come in and they work out, and we refer our clients to them if they're looking for nutritional help.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Now, I guess another way of assessing, criteria for a client is either watch them train someone, or better yet, get a personal session. Do you advocate, but do you think it's important that a client try before they buy in terms of fitness, personal trainer?
Yes, we give a complimentary session. I don't know many people who would buy a car without test driving it first. So, we let them come in. We go over the health history form. We take them through a full session the first time they come in, so they know what they're getting into. Everybody is different, and we want to make sure that they understand what they're getting when they come in here. So we give them a complimentary session. We take them through a full body workout and answer any questions that they have, so that it's a full test drive of who we are and what we do. And I suggest that anybody does that. Anybody would go out there and do that with any trainer that they're looking to work with, because if they don't feel strong enough that they can give a complimentary session out to you, they probably aren't. They're probably not strong enough in what they do. They don't feel strong enough in what they do that they have to sell you before you try it.
And I think that the advice that you gave, because most of the people listening, aren't in Pennsylvania, in your area. I think that the criteria you gave applies to any trainer, and that either if you're going to be working with a trainer, you want someone that will be there for the long haul towards your fitness goals. And if you don't feel comfortable with their approach, their personality, or how they adapt to your specific needs, you're better off going somebody else. I mean, it's your money, your time. Find the person that will give you the kind of results that you're looking for. And the best way to do that is in person after a workout, and while they're answering your questions specifically about you. And you get a much better assessment that way than any other. So I agree with you there.
Right. Something I tell people all the time, I can't show you what I do on my website. I can't show you what I do even in a conversation. You can't feel it. You don't know how you're going to feel about doing it until you actually are sitting in the exercise and doing it and hearing how I'm explaining it. And, that's the only way you're going to know if it's right for you. So test drive it.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense, especially when you're talking about the kind of thing of, getting maximum effort. A lot of people don't really know what that is until that's what it's like.
Most people don't know what it is after one session either. It's how that might be what they think it is, but slowly we show them how their body can adapt and how their body can do more than what they ever thought it could in a safe way.
Okay. Well, Dwayne, I want to thank you so much for sharing your insights and your experience about fitness, especially with our over 50 population. If people want to learn more about Vertex Fitness Personal Training Studio, or want to contact you, where should they go?
They can go right to our website, vertexfit.com, and on there they can see a lot about who we are, what we do, and read through the testimonials. We have many, many testimonials that are people over 50 that have seen great results with us over the years, and on there is an email that people can reach out to me and email me, and I'll definitely answer any questions people have. And we're right here in Philadelphia suburbs in Bryn Mawr, Pennsylvania. If you're in the area, look me up. I'd love to have you come in for a complimentary session.
Well, that's great. Well, Dwayne, thank you so much again for your time and your insights, and have a great day.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Never Too Late for Fitness Radio, hosted by Phil Ferris. To learn more about the guests or resources on our show today, or to listen to past episodes, Go to nevertoolateforfitness.com.